The final race in the round of 12 means there's one last shot to secure a spot in the final 8. Pressure is definitely on for these drivers tonight here at the Charlotte Roval. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel, and tonight we are going to the Charlotte Roval. You see it here. Crazy road course is going to be a ton of fun, but I can tell you, we've said this so many times, it is extremely loose out here. So these guys are getting ready to go to qualifying. Thank you for tuning in. We're getting a little late of a start here. Some technical difficulties, but we are out. We are ready, and it's going to be quite a ride. All right, we already have some drivers out here. Joseph Turley in that 97. We have a lot to talk about tonight. John Honeycutt, you can see him out here. Neither one of these drivers yeah, already on track, but no lap times just yet. Joe Berg, these guys are on their out lap. Next lap, they will get their time lap. 10 minutes to put a time down for these drivers, and then we'll head over to warm up afterwards. I see you guys out there in chat. Chloe, Evan, Snow, Lock on Stratus. Hope you're doing well, you guys. Man, Chris Karch, you see him out here in that number 40. I like that paint scheme. That's new. Forrest Smith, winner of last week. Talladega. A bit of a controversial win for him. I do believe he got into somebody on that final lap and ended up being the winner. Just pure chaos at Talladega on that final lap. It's a super speedway. That's how things go. What's going on with Spirit Airlines? No, I've seen a lot of stuff recently. Matthew Opliger, Justin Anisagak. Let's see if we got any times on the board. No times yet. It should be coming up shortly, though. Jordan McGraw in the 34. Jarrett Cardwell. Brennan Book. Andrew Sanford. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Luke Allen in that 7. Jimmy Cocker in the 11. Micah in the 61. Matthew Gale in the 67 Cookie Monster Machine. Connor Cunningham in that 3 paint scheme. That is another new paint scheme for tonight. And Brody Falliker. To get out of debt? Really? That is one thing I have not heard. Okay. All right, let's see. Do we have any times up yet? No times. All right, so these guys, we'll see. We have most of these guys in the green. Jordan McGraw in the purple. We have Matthew Gale in the purple on the final sector here. A 1:23.0. Let's get those times up on the board. Luke Allen, 1:22.9. I can tell you in practice we had a 1:21. That is absolutely flying. See if we find that time out here in qualifying, but Jimmy Cocker goes to the top of the board with a 1:22.65. Luke Allen for Dart Motorsports, Jimmy Cocker for FIWB. We have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He's out here with a 1:23.01. I want to go take a look at Justin Anisagak. I do believe he had the fastest lap time. He was the one with a 1:21. See what kind of times he's getting. Troy McGraw's next lap, along with Joseph Turley, is not as fast as his previous lap. Jimmy Cocker still going to hold on to that 1:22.65. It is going to be a crazy race. You guys, if you ever heard me, announce a road course, I'm going to tell you, turn 1, lap 1. We're going to have to watch out for it. A lot of chaos can happen in there, and these cars are extremely loose. You're going to see some cars coming out onto the oval. Going to hit a wall or two. You can see them going over those turtles in the chicane there. It's going to be crazy, I'm telling you. All right, the top 12 on the board. It goes from a 1:22 to a 1:25. Jimmy Cocker with a fastest Sector 3. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, fastest Sector 4. And he goes straight to second in that 0-0 with a 1:22.89. I tried to get a view of him. All right, Justin, we saw him fastest in practice. He gets a 1:22.30. That's going to just skip right over Jimmy Cocker with a 1:22.65. Joe Berg, turn 1 here. I think we're going to see a couple of guys possibly into that wall where you saw Joe Berg as he makes his lap complete. Hopefully not. Knock on wood. Let me know what you guys are expecting tonight in the race. We're going to have 36 laps of fuel. And these drivers are starting to come to an end with their lap times and whatnot. Hunter Cunningham yet to make a lap time here. Micah sits 10th so far. Micah and Brendan 10th and 11th for C Motorsports. You see Brendan out there making his lap time. Joseph Turley goes to 16th on the board with a 1:26.42.97. He goes around. That's going to absolutely destroy that lap, and he's got damage to that rear, so I do believe his qualifying effort is over for that. Francis Hamilton, man, I got to talk about this guy. Absolutely phenomenal season for him. I'm just so excited and how he's doing. He's top 4 in standings. Last season, he was 16th. He finished the season in 16th. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Granted, we were in the Cup Series, so Francis, I always want to talk to these drivers during the race, but I don't want to give him the booth jinx, I feel like it's definitely a thing, but yeah, super excited for Francis. I want to see him move on to the final 8 here, and I do believe it's going to be no problem for him. Josh Taylor, Miss Murda, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Don't know, forgot about it. 2019, Chase Elliott restarted in the lead, ran straight into the heartburn turn. Who can forget, right? Fixed the car up, won the race. Absolutely insane. It's definitely a possibility here tonight. We're 7 minutes into qualifying. So far, Justin still keeping that on the board. I'll be very interested to see if anyone else can take over his time. We're going to have to get it at 1:22.3 or faster. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get that done. Josh Taylor out there. Micah still out on track. Francis Hamilton still out there. All right, let's see what he can get. Micah slower. Francis Hamilton slower. Third sector. Josh Taylor slower. Second and third sector. Go on board with Francis Hamilton here. Right through that chicane, that final one. Across the start-finish line, you can just see how loose his car is getting as he's trying to make it through there. Gains some time. He gets in the top 10, a 124.05. It's a little scary to be out there mid-pack here, I can tell you. As you're trying to get almost 30 cars into turn 1, you are just hoping and praying that everyone behind you does not finish you off and that you can slow up enough for the guys in front of you that you just don't get squashed overall. Repeat, how are ya? Missing you out here for sure. You know how many times we have given the booth jinx, the booth curse, whatever you want to call it. It has happened. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I feel like it's happened in the F1 series a little bit more, but yeah. All right, just over 1 minute left in qualifying here. We have to talk about standings. This is the final race before we head to the round of 8. We'll talk about the standings here. We'll talk about track analysis, what we can expect. Only 2 sets of tires tonight. 36 laps of fuel. These guys are really going to have to watch how they race. You can absolutely destroy those tires out here. The first couple of laps are going to be your fastest. Tire wear is kind of a bigger thing here. It's pretty wild, so they're definitely going to have to watch it. All right, we got this going. So let's go ahead and bring up the track analysis. We talked about it for the Charlotte Roval. 50 laps tonight. No fast repairs. We're going to have 3 stages, and there will be cautions for these stages. So you're going to see 2 cautions come out. Stage 1 is going to be 10 laps. Stage 2 will be another 10 laps, and the final stage will be 30 laps long. 2 tire sets, so these guys will have to watch when they take it. What kind of strategy? I think we're going to see it vary up, especially where you're at on track when these guys decide to go in. If you're out front, I'm not sure if these guys can help it that we're going to see them go in. So that is something that we will have to watch and be aware of. But these guys are going into the warm-up, and they get to see what they can do out there. Just practice those pit entries, see what they want to do. Let's go ahead and bring the playoff standings. Justin Inisagak, and let me bring this up. Nobody in the top 12 has won a race this round so far. There's only been 2 races. Tonight is the 3rd. Will we see a playoff driver win tonight? That's something we're going to have to look out for. Justin, he's got an average finish at 16 and a half at road courses. He finished 5th at the Glen and 28 at Road America. This is also his first full season. Brody Falliker, he is positive 52. He's got an average finish of 2.5. Last season, he finished in 5th. He's currently 2nd in the standings, as you see here. Brendan Book, he's 37 to the good. Francis Hamilton, we talked about him earlier. He's in the top 4 for standings. I mean, just doing a phenomenal job. He's got an average road course finish of 12th, but overall finish of 9th. Last season, we talked about it. He finished 16th overall. Luke Allen, he is in 5th, 20 points to the good. He's got an average road course finish of 8.5. He finished 8th in standings overall. He currently sits 5th. Jimmy Cocker is good, 17 points. He's got an average road course finish of 4th, so he's another contender tonight for a win. Brody Falliker, same. Justin Inisagak, any of these guys can absolutely get it done. You got Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, 13 to the good. Josh Taylor, 11 to the good, sitting P8. Joe Berg, right under the cutoff, 11 below. We have Matthew Gale sitting 10th, 11 below, tied. These 2 are absolutely tied. Tom Flitcroft, who is not here tonight, that is going to take him out. He will not move on to the final 8. And Micah, he is here. But he already told me, he says, Frozen, I don't think that I'm going to be able to make it into the top 8 here. It's pretty much impossible for him. So he's just out here for the love of road courses. Maybe he gets in. Maybe some miracle happens, but we'll see. Repeat 2 offers going in on a couple of houses tomorrow. Fingers crossed for you. A lot of good luck and good vibes headed your way for sure. Definitely miss you out here. All right, let's see what these guys are doing. Jordan McGraw, first one on the board. This is just warm up. No big deal. 123.87. Drivers were telling me that warm up is when they use to go into pit lane, practice the green flag stops. I'm not sure we're going to see any tonight with 36 laps of fuel. Final stage will be the longest. If it's me, if I'm out there driving, I'm going in at the end of stage 2. Want to see what tire wear does for these drivers. A lot of guys are saying that the tires are wearing a little more than they expected. So we'll see. If you treat those tires right, you should be able to get away with it. Brody Falliker, 122.64. Doing a solid job out there. Jose Ruiz, we haven't even seen him tonight. Let's go take a look at this 23 machine for FTR, 124.64. Just missed out on the final 12. And after tonight, guys, only 4 races left and the season remain. I don't know how the season went this fast, but you can see it here. Tonight is a Charlotte road course. Next week is going to be Chicago. 150 laps and it starts the round of 8. December 2nd, we go to Iowa. December 9th is Michigan, and the finale is going to be at Homestead. Absolutely insane. This season has flown by. I would love a repeat appearance back into the booth with me, if possible, before the season ends, right? We can all hope. Tonight we had some technical difficulties. The lobby would not show up. Pretty sure we had to make 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's crazy. But we got it up, I think, 15 minutes late, which is why we are late. Here we go. We are headed to grid. It's going to be crazy. 50 laps out here. Let's get these guys lined up. Justin Inisagak, he is out there in that 4 machine, gonna start on pole. He's had so many poles this season. Only 2 drivers have won after sitting on pole. So we'll see what happens with him tonight. Jimmy Cocker gonna be on the front row alongside Justin. Row 2, we're gonna see Jonathan Jurgensmeyer alongside Luke Allen in that 7 machine. Row 3 is going to see Jordan McGraw in that 34 car with Matthew Opliger sitting P6. P7 is going to be Francis Hamilton in that 48 car with Josh Taylor sitting P8. And in row 5 is going to be Matthew Gale in that 67 machine alongside Joe Berg sitting P10. John Honeycutt sitting 11th in that 50 machine with Micah Allard sitting 12th out there. In 13th, we have Brendan Book in that 5 machine with Andrew Sanford just beside him in that 37. In 15th, we have Forrest Smith in the 81 with P16 is going to be Chris Karch in that 40 machine. Derek Cardwell is going to be 17th with Jose Ruiz sitting 18th. 19th will be Joseph Turley in that 97 for Dart Motorsports with Brody Falliker for FIWB. Sitting 20th, kind of surprising there. Philip Bridgman, he's got no time, so I assume that's where that went. But Philip Bridgman is going to be 21st in that 9 car with Connor Cunningham in that 3 machine, sitting 22nd. 23rd is going to be Mike Campbell Jr. with Kevin Dallator in 24th. And last but certainly not least is going to be Dylan C. Robb sitting P25. That is your grid tonight. And what a grid it is. How about that? Give a shout out to your driver. We already have Monster Toe saying go 00. That's going to be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Another playoff driver out here. We already have somebody in pit lane. That's going to be Joseph Turley. Not sure what's going on with him. Start from pit, probably. going to bring up the track map for you guys tonight so you can see what the track is all about, where they're at, and how far spread they get. We have 2 chicanes pretty much close together on the oval part. Coming to the final section, one on the back stretch and one heading to the front stretch. Justin Anasagak is going to be leading us off in that 4 car. And like I said, he's had so many poles out here. You see Jimmy Cocker side by side with him. Kind of want to get a view of these guys from behind. We got 25 cars ready to go. Ready to take on turn 1, lap 1. Do you guys think that we're gonna have a clean start here as one of the more difficult tracks, in my opinion, to try to go through? A very drastic left-hander, a very loose car. Might see a little bit of chaos as these guys try to woe down their machines. Luckily, it's restart, so hopefully these guys will be careful, but you see a lot of playoff drivers lit up in light blue. That's gonna mean they are indeed playoff drivers. And that start-finish line is going to be directly after this chicane. Heck of a place to start. Gonna come around that final chicane, the pace car in.
Green flag.
Here we go. Green flag, and these guys look like they're going just fine. What an incredible start as they go through that final chicane. Into turn 1, Justin with a nice start. Jimmy Cocker sitting second. Jonathan Jurgenmeyer going out in third. See what these guys can do out here. Luke Allen in fourth. These guys single file line. No tom-tom tonight. Nope. All the guys lit up in blue are going to be playoff drivers. Matthew Opliger sitting 6th. Jordan McGraw 5th. I'm not expecting any cautions tonight besides the stage cautions. We'll see it at the end of lap 10. And then another 10 laps. And then you'll have the final stage starting for 30 laps. Take a look at Justin. He's already got almost just under a second gap between him and Jimmy Cocker. Jimmy has just done a phenomenal job out here in the road courses. It's fun to watch all these guys, see what they can do. See Justin Anasagak, Jimmy Cocker. Let's get a close-up on these guys. Jonathan the Jurg. That's what everyone calls him, Jurg. Philip Bridgman, I'm showing, has crashed. Let's see if we can take a look at him. It doesn't look like there's any harm for him. Joseph Turley, finally out, but it's going to be a lap down. Take a look at how these guys, I want to go on board with them. You can just see how crazy their cars get. How loose they are as they try to go for every last piece of real estate on this track to make it do what they want to do. You're going to hug that bottom line. It's going to improve your lap time just a wee bit. Around that 5 marker, you're going to try to start to break down heading into this first chicane here. Heading over the turtles. It's going to upset your car a little bit, but these guys going to cut it real close to that inside wall, hug around that bottom part. Once again, Chloe, it is awesome. So much fun to drive, but I can tell you, compared to these guys, I am slow. Here we go. We're going to do a hard braking. Down in the final chicane, a left down into the finish line, and we are starting lap 3 of 50. Right. Gotta show some other guys some love here. Jimmy Cocker, you can see him directly in front of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. The pressure is on for Jimmy. He's really got to hold off Jonathan here. Gonna go for every position. Look at all these playoff drivers. Every position matters. Jimmy Cocker and Jonathan Juergensmeyer both pretty safe. Not much that they're gonna have to worry about, but the field is still very much together. I talked to a couple of drivers tonight. A lot of them just said, you know what? I am just going to wait to see what kind of mistakes these guys make and capitalize on it. You don't want to push the issue. You don't want to wreck your car. So a lot of this is just being patient, staying on track. Don't make a mistake. Woo, that 20, Matthew Opliger. How about that jump over the turtles? Do that one too many times, you're going to see a machine and hurt. Luke Allen sitting in the top 5 right here in that number 7, and just a phenomenal run for him this season also. He's 5th in the standings. Great position to be in. 5th here tonight in this race. In order to make it into the top 8, he should be just fine. Jordan McGraw, you can see him all over the back bumper of Luke Allen. Jordan McGraw, known for his racing at road courses. He does a phenomenal job, but he's had some bad luck this season at our first road course. We'll see if tonight he can bring home a top 5 or perhaps a top 3 podium finish. Francis Hamilton in 7th. Another, we talked about him a couple of times tonight. Just a great job this season. I love to see the improvement from these drivers. I know we're in a different car, but man, so fun to watch. Josh Taylor has not gained or lost a spot, sitting P8. First time running with us, and you can see he's another playoff driver, so great to have him out here doing such a fantastic job. Matthew Gale, 9th, another playoff driver. Has not gained or lost a spot. So far, a biggest mover. Let's talk about it. We're going to go over to Brody Falliker, driver for FIWB. He's 2nd in the standings so far. He's got a lot of traffic to go through. Currently up 7 spots from where he started. Maddie, I see you out there. Hope you're doing well. Chris Karch, first time running this season, very new to iRacing. Gained 2 spots, sitting 14th, so great job to him, but I've got to go back. Joe Berg sitting 10th. Doing a great job out here in that 93 machine, and I'm going to go back to Matthew Gale because I don't believe I saw him yet in that 67, sitting P9 out there in the top 10. He is another playoff driver. John Huddycutt, 11th, having technical difficulties. I feel like that is the story of the season for him. Wheel settings were not working, so he's working in the dark here tonight. Brody Falliker still 12th. He's up now 8 spots, so he's moved up another spot. Kevin Dallatorre shows that he perhaps wrecked. Let's go in. He's in the grass, that 92 Hershey machine. Hopefully no damage for him. I don't see any type of damage, luckily. Should be moving just fine here. Chris Karch, 14th for Smith. Won last week's race. He is not a playoff driver. No playoff driver has won in these last couple of races. If you win, you're into the next round. That has not happened yet. Andrew Sanford, 16th. Down 2 spots, but still plenty of time. Lap 6 of 50. Micah, he's one that said, I'm going to ride in the back, wait for somebody to make a mistake. Jose Ruiz, you see him out here right where he started, P18. Jarrett Cardwell, you guys see him out there in the F1 series in our multi-series challenge. Now he's here in the Xfinity series. He raced last season in the Cup also. Connor Cunningham up 2 spots, sitting P20. Joseph Turley in 21st. Caleb Bridgman, 22nd. Kevin Dalator, we just saw him off in the grass, still making his way around track, 23rd. Mike Papa Bear Campbell in pit lane. Not sure exactly what happened with him. Hopefully everything's okay. Dylan C. Robb. Doesn't look like he's in the race anymore, unfortunately. All right, back to our leader, Justin Anasagak. Fastest time so far, and he's got it, a 1:22.79. This guy is absolutely flying. Our next best, I'm trying to find it, and it looks like it might be Jimmy Cocker sitting second. 1:23.093. Great job to these drivers. Let's go on board with Jimmy Cocker, see what it's like on that 11 machine. Gonna be coming around to the oval section, a left-hander right here. They cut it so close. I've seen a couple of drivers hit that inside wall tonight. 7 at 50 coming up on 8. Once we hit 10, the final part of lap 10, we will bring out the end of stage 1. I did not mention this, but you guys, it is a road course. If you get 21 incident points, we'll have to do a drive-through. That will be the case for every subsequent 10 incident points. So 31, 41, 51, you will have to go in. So it is imperative that you do not get so many incident points. You have to keep it clean. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer still directly behind that 11 machine. Not much space in between the two, so anything can happen here. Top 10 will get those bonus points for finishing out stage 1 in the top 10. Take a look at that track map. These guys starting to get spread out. What do you guys think about the race so far? Let me know. Almost a 2-second gap between Justin, our leader, and Jimmy Cocker. Coming up on a second and a half, and then Jonathan Jurgensmeyer going to be right behind Matthew Opliger. We've talked about him so much this season. Just always does a great job. Very strong car. Just sometimes does not get the finish. I know he feels he deserves, and I feel he deserves. So hopefully tonight he gets. Oh, as soon as I say that, I'm telling you guys, he absolutely cuts that. It's gonna cost him some time there. Luke Allen, here he comes. That 7 machine that's gonna round out the top 5 right there. Jordan McGraw and that 34 hugging that line as we head into the final chicane for him. We'll go through a lap with him. This part is kind of tricky. You have different formations going up and down the elevations around here. Going to the right-hander. You're going to have to cross over that curb right there that can upset the car just a little bit. And then as soon as you go around this corner, we're going to go back down to the left, downhill, which can also get your car upset. So these guys have to be so easy on the throttle. Talking to Jordan McGraw before the race, he says, brake bias. He changes it throughout the race constantly, depending on where he is and how much brake he has to use. When he has to brake hard, he's going to keep that brake bias higher. Not as much braking, he's going to put it down lower. Again, down so far low next to that wall. Absolutely insane. You guys want me to go on board with a driver? Let me know who. We'll go on board with them. This is the final race in the round of 12. This will determine who moves on in the round of 8 and has a 1 in 8 chance at the championship and an SnB Xfinity Series trophy. Andrew Wisdom has won the last 2 seasons He is not racing in here for the remainder of this season, so new driver trophy is up for grabs. See what happens. Here we go. You see cars all over the track. Really getting spread out now. Going through the chicane, that's going to be our leader in that 4 machine as they're trying to make their way through. Jimmy Cocker and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer still incredibly close. Let's go on board with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Through that final chicane, this is going to be the end of lap 10. And the completion of stage 1, these 3 will get bonus points along with the top 10. Finishing out stage 1 in the top 10. Once we get the top 10 through the line, we will bring out the caution, and there you go. Caution is out. The top 10 will be Justin Anisagak, Jimmy Cocker, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Matthew Opliger, Luke Allen, finishing 5th, Jordan McGraw in 6th. Nice bonus points for these drivers. Francis Hamilton in 7th, Josh Taylor 8th, Joe Berg 9th, and Brody Falliker up 10 spots. Crabbing bonus points. That's insanity. He had to drive the wheels off that machine. He rounds out the top 10. Great job. How about Matthew Gale? Finishing 11th here for stage 1. All right. Will we get any takers for pit lane? Fuel-wise, they got 36 laps they can go on. Tire-wise, if it's me, I am staying out until the finish, stage 2. See what these guys decide, though. Got the Blimfu here. Pace car coming out. These road courses make for long cautions. Pace car going through the cars. All right. Let me know if you want to have any view of any driver. Let me know who you're rooting for. We'll see who goes in, who stays out. Again, I'll be very surprised if any of these top drivers go in. But hey, I'm not out there. It depends a lot on the tire wear they're experiencing, but they only have 2 tire sets to go on. A couple of drivers still trying to make their way back up to the field. 23rd is going to be our last driver. That is going to be Kevin Dallator in the number 92. Cookie Monster car. That's going to be Matthew Gale in that number 67. I know. I love that Cookie Monster. I used to have a Cookie Monster car. It's back on Forza. It's a good looking machine right there. And you guys know I'm always trying to hand out chocolate chip cookies, so there you go. All right, we're coming up on our first chicane. Under pace here. No one going in. Lap 12 of 50. It is so cute. We have a couple of new paint schemes out here. I'm loving it. We got Jordan McGraw's Sega machine. Trying to remember Josh Taylor. Yeah, he's got. Know that one. We know that one for sure. I'm gonna find him. Matthew Gale, Cookie Monster, Chris Karch, that's another new one. Nitro Pepsi. It's a new paint scheme out here. For Smith, that could be a new paint scheme. He's got a lot of damage on the front end. Not quite sure what happened with him. We saw him off the track, but I don't remember him hit anything. But here we go. Our leaders are coming in. A mad dash to pit lane, and that is going to be pretty much the entire field except for around 5 drivers. Matthew Opliger, Justin Anasagaka's in, Joe Berg. Matthew Opliger stays out. Joe Berg stays out. Matthew Gale and Connor Cunningham. All those drivers have stayed out, so 4 drivers. We're gonna have a mad dash as these drivers make their way back out, and take a look at how close that is. That left-hander, you have to really turn that wheel to make that. Justin Anasagak is going to beat the field out. He will be 5th in line. Jimmy Cocker is going to be 6th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 7th. Luke Allen 8th. Jordan McGraw 9th, and Francis Hamilton will round out your top 10 with Brody Falliker just on the outside and looking into the top 10. I know, J-Mac, he's got that Sega Christmas. I told him, I said, I think you've run that before. He said it was in an off season, and he might have even said a different car. All right, Matthew Opliger, we've seen him lead quite a bit of laps this season. He's gonna have a lot of pressure going on behind him. A fresh start going into turn 1. See how these guys get through that. On board with him currently, we got Forrest Smith. He's going to be in pit lane, and he is making his way out, trying to repair that front end damage, and it looks like they did a pretty good job of fixing that. Matthew Opliger going to lead us back to green. It's already lap 13 of 50. Caution laps go slow for the stages at road courses, but racing-wise, phenomenal job by these drivers. Or Smith is the only one that needs to catch up at this point, I do believe. Pace car lights are still on. We'll see if it goes out. We're running too wide here now. Yeah, they're out, so we will be going back to green. Matthew Opliger, his go. Oh, I thought they were out. All right, we might be doing one more lap here. Absolutely doing one more lap. Slowest pace laps ever. But at least we don't have the pace car hitting those barrels, right? Lights are finally out on the pace car. We will go green this time around. Too wide going all the way through. How about we take a look at a couple of these drivers on our restart in the back of the field. We're gonna go Andrew Sanford. See his point of view on a restart here heading into turn 1 chaos. Let's hope we don't miss any action out front, but we're coming up to 15 of 50. That 50 machine, John Honeycutt, you see some damage in the rear of his car. Andrew Sanford currently sitting 17th. Coming around the oval section of the track, gonna hit our first chicane coming up shortly. Andrew Sanford has Micah out there behind him, Jarrett Cardwell, Chris Cart, Joseph Turley, Forrest Smith, and Kevin Dallator. Andrew Sanford races for FIWB, a huge team filled with about 8 drivers. They have FIWB Toyota and FIWB Chevy. Andrew Sanford races for Toyota. Unless he switched it on me. You never know. All right, soon that pace car will be going in. You see a couple of drivers warming up those tires. Let me go look at the information for pit lane. I don't know. This is very interesting. All these drivers, it looks like they might have taken a set of tires here. Very interesting.
Green flag.
All right, we're green flag, and Andrew Sanford, a very awkward place to restart at. If they make a smart move and don't get on the throttle until they're on the straight here, as straight as it is. Into the first corner, these guys look like they are just fine. Chaos! Jordan McGraw around. We'll see if that is going to, yeah, that's going to bring out a caution right there.
Get yourself something to drink. Get a deep breath.
You guys, that is going to be our first road course caution in the history of SnB NASCAR. Jordan McGraw with a ton of damage out there. Absolutely demolished. Tough night for him. Not what he wants to see. He loves those road courses. Down 17 spots. He's currently sitting 22nd. Let's see if we can find out what happened, but it looks like a few involved in that. Take a look at that 34 machine. You see him right there. It's Sega machine. Just gets loose on the throttle, hits the wall, gets hit by his teammate, the 61, the 12. So difficult. Michael, a lot of damage in that. Try to go on board, see what happened with him. .48 gets really close, just puts on a little bit too much throttle. Gets loose. And there is not a lot of space to try to get around him, so unfortunately, you're just gonna... I know, no, J-Mac. I'm with you. There's just not a lot of room to go. I don't know, we'll see. He might want to join us in the booth here. See what happens. Making his way on pit lane, trying to repair the damage. We'll see what he's got. Hopefully not a lot of damage. I mean, he's definitely got damage. We'll find out how much for him. Let's go ahead and bring him into chat and find out what happened. Jordan, I didn't want to talk to you under these circumstances, but how's the damage looking for you?
Oh, we're toast. We're absolutely totaled. She's done. I don't know. That's frustrating. We were just riding and honestly didn't even get into the corner too hard. Didn't put too much throttle into it. She just spun on it. So that's disappointing.
That is an absolute heartbreaker.
To everybody involved, but yeah, it just, I mean, I don't even have steering input into it, and I'm going straight, and yeah, it hits that bump, and it just lost it, and...
Yeah. Really sorry to see, but if the damage is too bad, you know you got a place up here in the booth if you feel like it, so hopefully we'll see you back on track, but if not, maybe we'll see you in the booth.
It'll be about 13 minutes, so, you know, if you want me to hang out, I can.
That's up to you. Come on out if you want.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit. We're pretty hurt.
Man, tough break. These guys have been running so good tonight. Matthew Opliger still in the lead. Jordan McGraw gonna hang out, trying to fix the damage out there. A couple of people were cheering for you, so maybe we'll see you back
I'll
out
let them
there and
down.
gain a few.
That's just embarrassing. I don't, freaking self-spin in front of the field on a restart is ridiculous, but
It's
it
turn one
happens.
is chaos. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because we all made it through there there really weren't any issues for anybody at all, and then, we get to the second stage and suddenly the car has zero grip for no reason. So I don't know, but it is what it is.
Yeah, tough break for sure. Connor Cunningham, he's going to go into pit lane. John Honeycutt, a couple of takers.
Yeah, John was one of the direct guys that slammed into me pretty good. I think he broke one of my wheels.
Micah, I know he was another.
Yeah, Micah, which that really hurts for him. I mean, it's a playoff driver. You don't want to cause a wreck that screws one of them over. But
a frustrated Jordan McGraw out here. Maddie says, if it makes you feel better, J-Mac, you did better at the Roval than I do.
I mean, we had good pace. I mean, I was looking forward to that final stage because I felt like, I had good long run speed, just taking it easy. I was trying to get past Luke Allen the whole run, and I was kind of stuck behind him, and then made one mistake in the front stretch, and kind of just decided to just pace it home there for the end of the stage, and then just everything went sideways.
Looks like the pace car lights are out. These guys could possibly go green this time around. We'll have to find out. Showing Jarrett Cardwell in the lead, but he is currently sitting on pit road here.
Yeah, they were talking about taking a lap off of this yellow flag here. So thankfully these guys will be going green here, and we'll have a little bit of action. But I don't know how that no tire strategy was going to work. I think that's why a lot of guys were pushing there, because they wanted to get past these dudes on the older tires, and I guess I kind of got sucked into it and then made a mistake. But hey, that's something to look for here on this restart. The 4 of Anasagak has already made it up to the second row, so you just got to get around these 3 here, and he'll have clean sailing like he did in the first stage.
Yeah, he's had a really strong car out here. I know Matthew Opliger is looking to try to keep the lead as he moved out front after not pitting that first time. We'll see. Joe Berg is going to be in second, Matthew Gale in third, and then Justin, who we just spoke about, he's going to be starting in fifth. He's going to be on a tear trying to get through this field and get out to the front. We'll see how that pays off for him and how soon, if at all, that he can make it out front. Here they come around the last part of the oval, turn 4. We're going to have a chicane, and we'll go back to green. A couple of drivers still on pit road. Go up to our front. We will restart on that 20 machine. A lot of playoff drivers out front here. You see them in that light blue.
Green.
Such a crazy place to restart, I'll tell you, man. Here we
Yeah,
go, a nice
very
restart.
awkward place.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of drivers take it pretty easy through there. We're going into turn 1. This is where it gets pretty sketchy. I mean, all throughout the track, you get on the throttle, you just have to baby the throttle so much these cars just want to lose it. So far, these guys are fine and going single file for the most part through the corner. Matthew Opliger still in the lead. Joe Berg out here in second. So far, a great run. Justin Anasagak already out here. P3 going through the field. Matthew Gale in fourth. Jimmy Cocker going to round out the top 5. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 6th. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed is that it is really tough to pass. It's very, very difficult. It feels like there is a lot of dirty air, a lot of lack of downforce. So that's something that a lot of these drivers, and I think that's what like Opliger and Berg were planning on. And Anasagak, who has been the class of the field, has not been able to get around these guys. And you see Berg trying to get that throttle down, not able to do so. able to make a nice save, but he's going to lose 4 spots there before it's all said and done, and they get back around to the start-finish line. Oh, Oppliger is going to pass, or Oppliger is going to pit, so he is going to try to cycle around to the front at the end of the stage, because I think he's planning on a lot of these guys pitting, and I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, very interesting call. So that he's trying to make it so he is going to be the first out after the stage caution, and he's hoping everyone else goes in. See if his strategy pays off, but Justin goes right to the lead. Jordan, you talked about difficult to pass. What do you say is going to be the best place to make a pass?
The backstretch chicane seems to be a really good spot to outbrake somebody, get alongside of them. You can't really go through there side by side, so it's a very ambitious move to try to defend, especially if, you know, they make a really nice lunge on you. So I think that's going to be your real best place to pass. You can maybe knife underneath somebody through some of those double apex corners in the infield, but that's asking a lot out of the car and out of yourselves. So I think right here, as the corner, as Anasagak and Cocker are navigating that backstretch chicane, under braking there is probably your best opportunity to pass.
Man, what a great pass by Brody Falliker. I mean, he just made up some time heading into that chicane, right where Jordan said is a good place to pass. He full scented in there, just hopped the turtles, went right by Matthew Gale, I do believe, and he gained 2 spots on that, sitting P5, so great job on his end. Justin Anasagak still in first. Jimmy Cocker out there in second, directly behind. Anything can happen. I mean, a lot of this, Jordan, I was talking to some drivers, is you're just waiting for someone to make a mistake, because it is so difficult to pass, and you don't want to ruin your car. How much do you agree with just waiting for someone to mess up?
I mean, that's almost kind of what you're locked into, because you can be stuck there. As you see a Cocker gets in there, gets that curb, and that is not a place you want to hit the curb since they're just a little deep. Now he's side by side with Jurgensmeyer, but Jurgensmeyer not going to be able to complete that pass. We'll see if he's close enough to try to outbrake Jimmy Cocker into the backstretch chicane. But yeah, that's I mean, if you're equal on speed with somebody and you're not, they're equal or beating you into the backstretch chicane, you're kind of stuck behind them until they make a noticeable mistake that you can capitalize on.
Yeah, it looks like Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's getting a little antsy. He's trying to put the pressure on Jimmy to mess up. He wants to make his way by him. Doesn't want to make any contact with him to ruin his car, but you can tell he's got a lot of speed, and he wants by Jimmy Cocker right now. We'll see if he can't make it happen, but man, take a look at these guys as they jump those curbs. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just all over the wheel trying to keep this car steady. Absolutely insane. Great job.
Caution, caution, caution.
All right, that's going to be the end of stage 2 as these guys making their way on through. 2 stages complete here. Our top 10 is going to be Justin Anasagak as he leads the field into the second stage, going into stage 3. Jimmy Cocker second. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer third. Joe Berg fourth. Brody Falliker, our biggest mover of the night, up 15 spots. He sits P5. Luke Allen 6th, Matthew Gale 7th, Francis Hamilton 8th, Josh Taylor 9th, and Brendan Book gonna get that final bonus point for finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, that strategy ended up working out for drivers like Matthew Gale, who stayed out. Joseph Berg was able to hold on to 4th spot, even with that big moment he had on the backstretch. He was able to hang on to the 4th position. So that strategy ended up paying off. We'll see how this works out for Oppliger, because I imagine these guys, even with, 4 green flag laps, there is a serious fall off with this tire wear, with the lap times that occurs. So I think they're going to want to get the fresh tires, but we'll see. I mean, we just saw a bunch of drivers able to maintain the track position, so maybe an Anasagak, Cocker, or Jurgensmeyer saw that. And if they have the fuel, if they save the fuel, because it's right on the number, it's about 33, 34 laps you can get. And so with all of the caution laps we've had, maybe they can stretch the fuel, but they're gonna have to come in for at least that.
Well, let's talk to Joe Berg. We see him in the booth here. Well, we did see him in the booth. Let's see if we can get him. Where'd he go? I lost Joe Berg. Jordan, help me out. Where did he go? Where did I take him to?
Where did you take him to?
I don't know. I sent him to the booth, but he's not there. All right, we were going to talk to Joe Berg, and I feel bad.
I don't know where he is. You put him in the wrong booth.
What booth?
You put him in the broadcast booth for the multi-series.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take him to a different booth. Can we get him out there? Gosh. All right.
There we go.
Joe, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We see your strategy is paying off so far. What's your plan going into this next stage here?
Not much of a plan. I just try not to wreck the car, bring it home in one piece, and see where the points lay down at the end of the day.
Do you think we're going in and taking some tires, or are we? Yeah, I can't see any other way.
It's a questionable choice right now. I'm not sure yet. I still got a little bit of time to decide, but we'll see. It'll be a last-second choice, that's for sure.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sure you want to communicate with your team about that. Which team were you in? And I'll put you back there.
FIWB.
All right. Well, good luck out there. I hope you have a fantastic finish.
Appreciate it.
All right. All right. I think we put him back here in the correct chat. We have so many booths out there, but man, oh man. Joe having a great night. Great to see him out there doing so well, and he's going to have a little bit of team communication to see what they're going to do as he possibly goes in, but Justin Anisagak going to lead the field here, possibly into pit lane. Find out. Maddie, he didn't want my booth curse, but I was stubborn. I was going to give it to him anyway, and hopefully not. Hopefully not. I would love to see Joe Berg out here in the top 3. Justin Anisagak. Jordan, he stays out. Everyone else goes in except for Josh Taylor.
I kind of figured with the caution, which, came out, I kind of figured that might be in play. If that entire thing goes green, I think you see everyone come in there, but it really seems like the fewer yellow flag laps really were, or the addition of yellow flag laps and the fewer green flag laps, that was a key to these guys to come on in, or to stay out, I should say. Because the tires not that bad. They're gonna have to maintain the first couple of laps, but otherwise I think they'll be all right.
Man, I'm a little worried for Justin. I feel like he's pretty tough on those tires. He's a fast, aggressive driver. We'll see what happens with it, but yeah, he may be just fine. Josh Taylor also stayed out. Connor Cunningham, I don't think he went in either, so...
Yeah, there are 5 drivers that stayed out.
Oh, okay. Matthew Opliger included, huh?
Yeah, Opliger, it looks like... That's an interesting... Another thing that I was thinking about is that with the tire wear, what it is, maybe some of these drivers are going to... You don't need the fuel, but maybe they're going to cut that third stage in half. It's a very short pit road. So, not a lot of time spent there. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, a lot of strategies in play here. I know, Evan, no booth jinx. I hate it when it happens, and I'll tell you what, it happens. It is no joke. And some of these guys, I really want to talk to them, but I'm like, I don't want to give the booth curse out here, so... We brought Joe in, but hopefully it's good. Jordan, have you checked how many minutes you got left?
I am actually out on the racetrack right now.
Are you? Do you want me to put you back in team chat?
Not right now. Well,
okay.
I'll be an on-track advisor or something.
You just yell at me.
Yeah, because I'm about to come in. Yeah, I'll mute and I'll yell at you when something crazy happens in front of me.
Fair enough. Sean, I see you out there. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Aw, man, these guys. Right. We've had a lot of craziness going on here. A lot of different strategies. I'm very interested to see how it plays out. You can see the stint length here. Some of these drivers, 10-lap-old tires or possibly fuel, you know, just depends on what they took. Some 4 laps. Opliger is one of them. Smith, 6 laps. And Joe Berg, who hasn't gone in at all. Unless he did just go in. He might have just gone in. All right, we're gonna have to check the pace car here, see what's going on. The lights are out, so they will go back green this time around. Coming to lap 25 of 50. It is half over. Coming up to half over, I should say. Evan, we're not quite there, but we're getting there. These pace laps take a while for these road courses, I'm telling you. Gives these guys some time to what is that? Either prepare mentally.
That's a beautiful frozenism.
You love it, don't you? Yeah, either prepare mentally for this restart or kind of mess with them a little bit. All right, let's go on board with Justin Inisagak. Take a look, rear view, see what's going on. We're gonna have Josh Taylor to his outside. Connor Cunningham directly behind him in that new 3 paint scheme. Matthew Opliger right there. Gonna go around the first oval section as we head to our first chicane. You can see the banking coming up on Charlotte. I love Charlotte. The Roval's pretty cool too. Don't ask me. I think it was like either and mentally put together. You know, it is what it is. Evan, I wanted to go green too. That's okay. 19 positions gained for Connor Cunningham. Brody Falliker was our biggest mover. It's going to be Connor Cunningham at the moment with 19 spots gained. Brody Falliker, 11 spots gained for him. Words are hard, you know? It happens. It happens. Guys, through the first chicane, coming around the 3 and 4. And we'll head to the final chicane as we go back to green. A blimp view of our field. 2 wide all the way through, and then that lone line gonna have a couple of drivers. 23 drivers still out there. Jordan McGraw still out once again. Here we go. Back to green. Justin Inisagak, a great start. Matthew Opliger all over Justin, getting really upset in that car. Very, very loose, but he's still off and running. I want to go back on the blimp. We have a car around. That is going to be the 00. That's going to be Jonathan Jurgensen. Well, it's not Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Who is that going to be? Forrest Smith. That's going to be Forrest Smith. That was Forrest Smith
in the 81, yes. It was single car wreck somehow through there. I don't know how.
He spun around and went into the pit section of it, so it didn't affect anyone, just himself.
Very lucky for the field. Very lucky for himself.
Yeah, I agree. I know he's not too happy about that, but here we go. Lap 26. Justin Inisagak. A nice little lead out here. Just under a second. Matthew Opliger, who just was on a tear on this restart, got very loose trying to get around a couple of cars. He sits P2. Josh Taylor, he's going to be 3rd up 5 spots. Jimmy Cocker, he's been in the top 3-4 this entire race. Currently sits 4th. And Joe Berg, who we spoke to, knock on wood, he's doing still phenomenal out here in the top 5. Connor Cunningham, 6. Brody Falliker looked a little loose trying to get through this chicane here. Get through this camera.
Surprisingly clean restart there. Very, very clean, minus the one incident that we had.
It was very clean, and I told everyone that was probably our first
we had
caution.
another incident. I don't know who it is, but somebody in the back spun.
Joseph Turley is showing possibly went off track. We see him currently sitting in the grass. He's P22nd. Still has yet to come back on. He's got a lot of damage to that left front, but he is back on the track. No need for a caution, but he is absolutely damaged and hurting. Back to our leaders, Justin Ansagak. I know a lot of you guys rooting for this guy right here on that 4 machine. Our current points leader, he was 57 points above the cutoff heading into this race. No problem to make the final 8. Man, oh man. You can see that car jump in those turtles. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's where the speed is hitting those turtles just right, being very aggressive with them.
Is there such thing as being too aggressive? Oh,
boy.
Lord.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yep, there's a wreck.
Matthew Gale, looks like our Cookie Monster machine. Let's take a look, see what happened here. Looks like it might be heading into turn 1. They were 3 wide, headed into turn 1. Matthew Gale around. How in the world did everyone get through that? Cars going absolutely slideways. Phenomenal job by these drivers.
I also
24.
went for a small spin to not kill poor Mike Allard for the second time in this race.
24 laps to go. We are in the final stage. We're going into the next chicane as we head into 3 and 4. The oval part 3 and 4, I should say. I know, Evan, not the Cookie Monster, Maddie says. Matthew Opliger just, great restart for him, and he is gone.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
We're in your cutoff. Don't mess yourself up. You can see that machine. Still a little bit of damage on Jordan McGraw on that front end and that
I just got
left
some
rear.
because Dylan, I was behind him and he went into the corner way slower than...
On board Turley, another wreck for him, and he is already on pit lane, and it looks like out of the race. Unfortunate for him, but we're still off and moving. Justin Anisagak still in the lead. Matthew Opliger in second. Just over a second behind. Jimmy Cocker third. I'm telling you, he's been in the top 3 this entire time. Is very strong road racer. We saw him so great at the ovals. Very, very consistent driver, but really improved on these road courses.
Yeah, Cocker's really, really good at the long run, I feel like, but we'll see if he has the pace to get around an Asagak, but it's going to be a knockout, drag-out battle between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got an average road course finish of 4th. Currently sits 3rd. Josh Taylor in 4th. Joe Berg. No curse yet. I don't even want to say anything, but here he is, P5, and he's got a lot of traffic around him. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer behind him. Man, 42 hard into the wall. Brody Falliker. 2 wide as they enter turn 1 on this road course.
One thing I have noticed is the damage, much like Road America, it feels a little accentuated, a little multiplied. Like it doesn't take a very hard hit to really hurt the car here.
See if we see any damage. I mean, it looked like a hard hit. His car bounced off of the wall. I somehow don't see any damage unless it was somebody else who hit the wall, but Very interesting. Brody sits P8 up 12 spots from where he started, that 3 machine. That's going to be Connor Cunningham directly in front of him. I know, Maddie. He's gonna booth curse himself. I think that would be a first. 22 laps to go. Justin still out here, out front. I mean, he has just proven he is so incredibly consistent. He has so many poles out here. His best lap, a 122.6. His last lap, a 122 or 123.3. Go through the field here. Joe Berg 5th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer sitting P6. What happened since you've been gone? Chloe, what hasn't happened? Jonathan Jurgensmeyer keeps glitching in and out. Seen a lot of him this season. Kind of interesting. Brady Falliker 7th. Connor Cunningham 8th. We've had a couple of drivers. Bennett out in turn 1. Around the left-hander corner, trying to throttle that up.
I feel attacked right now.
Jordan may or may not have been one of them, so he's in the booth as he's actually out on track.
The very first ever yellow flag on a road course in Shaken Vegas.
And you bring it out.
And I'm the cause of it. It's just add on to all of the embarrassment of this season.
Oh, good times, good times. John Honeycutt sitting 12th. Brendan Book 13th, right exactly where he started, has not gained or lost a spot. Jose Ruiz up 4 spots, sitting P14th. Andrew Sanford 15th, and I just see Jonathan Jurgensmeyer glitching in and out here. Philip Bridgman, Jarrett Cardwell 16th, Philip 17th. Forrest Smith, we saw him lose it. Turn 1, you see some damage on that left front. He somehow spun it inside of a pit entrance or part of pit road, so no damage to any other car. Kind of incredible. Micah Allard, 19th. Involved in an earlier incident with Jordan McGraw. Matthew Gale, 20th, and Kevin Dalator, 21st. Chloe, I hate to hear that. I would never be able to sleep with one of those. I don't know how you do it.
Okay, some drivers are coming in. Heard Justin Anasagak saying he is going to pit this time. So that is the plan, is to take tires during this final stage. You can definitely make it on fuel, but these drivers obviously all opting to get some fresh rubber at some point.
All right, you heard it from Jordan. That is our leader, Justin Anasagak. He is planning on making an entry into pit lane very shortly, I would imagine. Matthew Opliger. Yeah, here we go. Justin Anasagak is in. Matthew Opliger is our new leader. We're going to have Jimmy Cocker in second. Will we get any other takers? Josh Taylor 4th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Take a look at this group right here. A lot of drivers so close. Brody Falliker just absolutely that front end of that car on that left side just up in the air as he goes over those turtles. Very aggressive through those chicanes. Justin Anasagak currently sitting 12th as these drivers are going around and still falling. On board with Matthew Opliger. Coming around the oval section here. Gonna hit right next to that inside wall. Hug it down low, then bring it up high. Around marker number 5. Probably woe it down to make this first chicane. You have to be so gentle on the throttle, gentle on the brakes. If you have that brake bias down to, man, he gets so close to the inside wall. I thought he was going to take it out. But you have to make sure that that brake bias is not going to put you in danger of spinning that car when you put on the brakes. Talked about some strategies with that, changing it throughout the race, and that was Jordan McGraw that was doing that, as we talked about. Sure, quite a few others are doing the same. 18 laps to go. Still quite a bit of racing left to be had. Justin Anasagak, 19th.
Yeah, having to work some serious traffic right now. The back of the field all on top of each other.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely stacked. Micah right behind. He made his way through. Matthew Gale cuts through the chicane. You can see him slowing down right there. Remember, guys, incident points. You get 21. That's going to be a drive-through penalty. Any subsequent 10 incident points, 31, 41, 51, you will have to make your way into pit lane to a drive-through. Our leader, 2.5 seconds out in front of Jimmy Cocker. Jimmy Cocker sits second. Great drive for him tonight. Just absolutely consistent. We've talked about it a couple of times. Brody Falliker, though, I don't know how or what he's got under that hood, but 17 spots gained. Sitting P3 was somehow able to get in the top 10 for the end of stage 1, grabbing a bonus point. Just look how aggressive he goes over that chicane. It just still blows my mind. I'd be wrecked out. Possible trouble for Micah. We see him slow.
He blew the backstretch chicane by a lot. Had to stop to serve that penalty.
Let's see as he's making his way. We'll have a replay. See Jordan McGraw down low. Micah heading really quick through there. Knows he's going to miss it. And yeah, going to have to slow that thing down, give that time back. Sure he wishes I did not catch that. Kevin Dallator, that 92 machine, sitting 21st. Jordan McGraw, 22nd, making his way through. Micah, 20th. Matthew Gale, the Cookie Monster machine, out here in the top 20, sitting 19th. Philip Bridgman, a solid run. I mean, he's up 3 spots, sitting P18. For Smith, he is 17th. Justin Anasagak, he's got a huge hill to climb out here. Currently sitting 16th, down 15 spots from where he started. Chloe, everybody is aggressive every race, I feel like, right?
That is true.
Joe Berg, pit lane for him. We'll see what he takes, what he does. Talked to him earlier on, had not pit. Great race for him. Matthew Opliger, still our current leader. Jimmy Cocker, just over 2 seconds.
Another mistake from Matthew Gale back here in the back.
Yeah, you can see him making his way back on the track. Missed that chicane there, I would imagine.
He has pretty good speed. It's just been real tough to...
Yeah, those mistakes.
Yes. I know about those.
I think we all had a few of those throughout our time racing. All right, for Smith, 16th. Jarrett Cardwell's going to be 15th out here. Talked about Justin Anasagak. He's sitting 14th. Joe Berg still in pit lane. Kind of a long pit stop for him. He's got some damage on that right front there.
Maybe he had a massive issue.
So far, this pit stop is over a minute for him. So yeah, definitely repairing some damage for him. Matthew Opliger going to put him a lap down. Please tell me we did not give him the booth curse. Josh Taylor making his way down pit lane. He's had a fantastic night tonight. He's currently 8th as he heads down pit road.
And Anasagak is going to have some serious track position on these guys that are pitting now, but he'll have the worst tires of these guys. And of course, who knows if some of those guys up at the front are attempting to try to make the rest of this race without coming to pit road.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. He's always got some interesting strategies at play. Tonight is definitely another one. He is, as Jordan said, going to have older tires. But as these guys go in, he's going to be making up quite a few spots. We'll see about how many, but man, oh man, take a look at this traffic he is currently stuck in. I know he's just got to be begging these guys internally to just get out of the way. The 37, Andrew Sanford, Jose Ruiz, Brendan Book, John Honeycutt, Chris Karch, all directly in front of him. A hard hit into the wall. I want to say that is going to be Brendan Book in that 5 machine. You see Justin.
That's another playoff driver.
Yeah, you see Justin going down low, gonna send it in. I'm not sure how far he's gonna go side by side with Jose Ruiz through the chicane coming out. Gonna tuck in behind Jose. He's gonna bring it down low. Jose gonna let him by. Here we go. Justin making his way through the final chicane as he heads into lap 37. All right, Chloe, have a great night. Thanks for coming out, keeping us company. We appreciate it. Justin into 11th. He's got Brendan Book in front of him, who we saw hit the wall earlier on. He's got a little bit of damage, scuff marks on that left front. Not sure how long he's going to be able to hold him off, but man, Justin's still in a lot of traffic out here. Matthew Opliger still in first. Jimmy Cocker, that gap is growing between the two almost to 3 seconds.
That is the negative side of that strategy is you have good tires and you're able to work your way through the field, but
you gotta work your way through the field.
Yeah, you gotta work your way through the field.
As soon as I say Jimmy Cocker's almost 3, yep, there we go, 3 seconds behind Brody Falliker. He is gonna be about 7, almost 8 seconds behind. How is he doing that? Almost taking all 4 tires over that turtle. You can see the undercarriage of his machine. That is, we're going Days of Thunder. They're not even Days of Thunder. What is that show? Ramping Things. I don't know.
Ramping Things, Nitro Circus?
No, it's like a really old show. I've never seen it.
It's a really old show, but you've never seen it.
Yeah. You just see the commercials.
Well,
we'll just let that one slide. It'll come to me. Probably not. Luke Allen, Lucky Sevens. I can't tell you how many times. Maddie, help a sister out. Right? It was a race car, orange car. They ramped things.
Oh, Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Thank you. That's what Brody looks like out there.
Never
right?
meaning no harm.
There you go.
It's all you ever saw. In trouble with the law since the day they were born.
Yes, I've never seen it, but surely we've all heard of it at least once, right? Yes, Miss Murda. Yes, you got it right there. But Luke Allen, the Lucky Sevens, in that 7 machine sits P7, Chris Karch. How about that? Races in our F1 Series multi-series challenge, and he's out here on another road course sitting P8, gaining 8 spots. Justin Anasagak, here we go. Out here in 9th, directly behind Chris Karch. Quickly gaining as we head into the next chicane. Will he be able to make a move? It's going to be a tight battle for these guys. Coming around to the start-finish line. We're on lap 39 of 50. He's going to get momentum going in this first corner as they go side by side. Justin's going to cut over that curb there. Gains the spot. He goes to 8th. Fantastic run by Justin out there. Matthew Opliger just looking so strong. That gap still increasing over P2. That's going to be Jimmy Cocker back there as he enters the chicane. Coming up on lap 40 here. Teammates Jimmy Cocker, Brody Falliker sitting 2nd and 3rd respectively. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, a great run for him tonight up here in the top 5. Connor Cunningham, I'm so impressed with him. Running out here in the top 5, gaining 17 spots, tied for the most spots gained with Brody Falliker, who has gained 17 spots.
Yeah, Cunningham had good speed in practice. Didn't back it up in qualifying or opted not to. Not really 100% sure which, but either way, looking really good in the race so far.
Absolutely. That car, no damage to it whatsoever that I can tell. Raced back with him on the Xbox days. He was in several leagues, seasons of ours in the NASCAR series. Great to see him out here doing so well. We've already had him in the booth for a top 3 finish. We'll see if we can't get him in there, just 2 spots away. Francis Hamilton, we've talked about him this season. So incredibly strong. P6 currently. Want to say Francis Hamilton, yeah, he is out here 4th in the standings. He gained a spot over last race. So great job to him. Luke Allen still lucky 7s for that number 7. Justin Anisagak, he's looking to change that though, as he is trying to make his way up to Luke Allen. He's got a lot of time to make up. I don't know if he's going to make it happen. It's about 18 seconds or so. I know my math is terrible, but he's got a while to go. No one in front of him. He has made his way through that huge pack he was in. John Honeycutt, no one in front of him, but he's got a few drivers behind him, including Chris Karch, Brennan Book, Jose Ruiz, who these 3 drivers on top of each other. Anything can happen. Total of 5
Those are
drivers.
all drivers who are in the same chat together communicating, so who knows what kind of who knows what they're talking about. Probably either expressing their enjoyment of racing around each other or their displeasure with each other, but hey,
maybe both.
Never know. Maybe a little both.
Very crowded track. Forrest Smith side by side. Got Josh Taylor leading it. Jarrett Cardwell side by side with the 93. That was going to be Joe Berg. Matthew Gale in the back of that pack, sitting P17th. And
yeah,
Oval
Cardwell
or
and
not.
Smith, and battling really hard back here. And of course, you have Taylor on fresh tires, and I believe
just went off track.
Oh no.
Josh Taylor back on track, but that has cost him some time, and he's got some left front damage, trying to make his way around Matthew Gale. Evan Dallator, he's got some traffic around him. That is going to be our leader, Matthew Opliger, directly behind him. We're going to see Micah Allard in that 61 machine directly in front of Kevin. Joe Berg out here in 21st. Jordan McGraw looks like he's got a clear front view of the track. Not a lot to worry about here.
We're catching some people. How many laps are left?
42 of 50, so
Ooh,
we're getting close. We're getting close. Matthew Opliger made his way by that 92 machine. Coming up on Micah, we're going to take a look. Going through that chicane, I'm telling you what. These guys make it look so easy, but boy, oh boy, it looks scary.
It is scary. I promise you, there's a pucker moment every time you go through there.
Hey, you know, I've been there and I've driven it about half the speed that you guys do, and I'm still scared. Take a look at his car, just jumping over those turtles. Making his way up to Micah, gonna take it down low. Micah stays up high, going into corner 1. Coming up to 6-second lead over Jimmy Cocker. Jimmy losing some time, but Brody Falliger, his teammate, side by side. This is gonna be for P2. Jimmy is gonna lose that spot to Brody Falliger. Brody moves up to 2nd, Jimmy down to 3rd. Absolutely insane. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer sitting P4. Back enough where I'm not sure that he's going to be able to catch him. We'll find out. Jimmy Cocker's lost a lot of time to our leader. We'll see. Ryan, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well out there. Connor Cunningham still in the top 5, up 17 spots. Brody Falliger, our biggest mover. Yeah, he's had that The same theme all night long. Biggest mover at 18 spots gained. Woo, Jimmy Cocker really jumping that turtle. Almost 6-second lead still. Brody Fallacher kind of closing that gap a little bit. Lap 43 of 50. Can he catch up to Matthew Opliger? Opliger has yet to win this season. He's looking for his first win, and it could be tonight. Still plenty of laps left to have anything happen. Obviously, he's got a great, consistent car out here. Great strategy. Did he take care of his tires enough to bring it home? Brody Fallacher, you see it, just under 6 seconds. It keeps fluctuating. Jimmy Cocker still losing a bit of time. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's just waiting for that mistake to happen so that he can gain that spot. He's about 7 seconds back. He's gonna need a big mistake from Jimmy, and probably a couple of them. Connor Cunningham right behind Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, about 1.5, 2 seconds back. Very, very consistent. We've talked about it. Francis Hamilton, I'll tell you what, so consistent, going too wide with Luke Allen. Luke taking over that 6th spot. Francis Hamilton, right where he started the race, sitting P7. Francis Hamilton for FIWB, that FIWB teammates just doing a great job tonight. Francis getting very, very loose coming out of that chicane. He manages to hold on to it. He is a playoff driver. Currently sits 4th before this race tonight. Luke Allen was 5th. These guys very, very close, and right next to each other on track too. Taking a look at Justin, we saw a different strategy from him. He went in pit during the stage 3. Had a huge uphill battle to climb as he's trying to make his way through traffic. Currently sits P8. He is hoping that these guys go in, but so far, I do believe he is the only one to go in for tires or fuel or anything like that, if not damaged in stage 3. Five to go. Down to the wire here. This race ends the round of 12. After tonight, only 8 drivers move on. Who is it gonna be?
And I am really surprised that Anasagak hasn't been able to make up more ground. I thought the tires would pay a lot better dividends than they have. But you can see, still 32 seconds back of our leader.
Yeah, you know, I've seen some crazy strategies from him this season. I know he's probably wasn't too happy about how those strategies played out, but you just never know. It could go one way or the other, and he's taking risks out there, which is what you got to do, but he's 57 points to the good. I mean, he's golden for the round of 8. So I think it's a risk that he could afford to make. He's having fun out here. Man, he is sliding all over the place, almost into the grass. I kind of feel like he overdrove it, and his tires are absolutely screaming at him.
Yeah, that corner is actually one of the faster ones you take. You kind of, that first part of that first right-hander in that little complex, you really sail it in there to try to late apex that second right-hander to help set up for the double left that's coming. And if you overstep just a little bit, maybe have a little bit too much speed, maybe a little too much rear brake in the car, it's very easy to lose it.
Seeing him coming out of this first chicane, almost touching that wall. Just so
oh yeah, you gotta get right up next to it.
Yeah, I feel like you could touch it if you put your hand out the window. Hugging that bottom line and getting into the second chicane, just all over that wheel, into the grass, over the turtle, and off we go into the start finish line. Almost loses it, holds on to it though. Matthew Opliger, still our leader, and almost an 8-second lead. He's just got to hold on to it, keep it consistent, don't do anything crazy. Just keep it on the track, and this is his race to win here. First race win of the season if he can get it done. Not a playoff driver, as he has not completed enough races to do so. No playoff driver has won in this round of 12.
I really felt that Kansas was going to be his night, and that was the night that Tristan Helf was able to go to the victory. He had a late mistake that took him out of the running, but he was definitely one of the two making the most noise that evening. And today looking for a little bit of redemption, and he's only a handful of laps away from getting it.
Yeah, 3 to go at this point, and I agree, Jordan. He's had so many solid races, Kansas being one of them, and I know this has got to be redemption for him. He's just got to keep it steady, keep it consistent, on track. This is his. He's got some traffic up ahead of him. I know probably not what he wants to see, and that is going to be Philip Bridgman as he sits P18. Brady Falliker still just under 8 seconds. Not really gaining, not really losing anymore at this point.
This battle for ninth really heating up between Honeycutt and Ruiz, and also it looks like Brendan Book might have lost a position to Andrew Sanford. So some really, really heated battles here in the middle of the pack in the closing laps of this one.
I know, every time we come up on these drivers, they are just on top of each other. John Honeycutt teammates with Jose Ruiz for FTR. On top of each other, then you have Chris Karch sitting 11th, directly behind these two. Again, anything can happen. Andrew Sanford leading this next pack. Brendan Book directly behind him. Josh Taylor not too far behind as we come up. 2 to go here at Charlotte Roval. Matthew going side by side with Philip Bridgman. That is a lapped car officially now.
Yeah, Bridgman giving him plenty of room through a really tight portion of racetrack, able to make that pass.
Are you still out on track?
No, we brought her in. Crew chief told me that they've seen enough.
All right, I was gonna say, how do you know all this? You're still driving.
Because I am omnipotent. I am everywhere. I have eyes in the skies.
Oh, man. Yeah, it seems like Matthew Opliger and Brady Falliker are very solid first and second unless they make a mistake. After that, things can happen. I mean, one mistake can switch positions for these drivers. Quite a bit of space in between Connor Cunningham and Luke Allen, who... lucky sevens for him, and he's now in 6th, moving on up almost into the top 5. The wise J-Mac knows all. I mean, he's got like 20 eyes around his head if he's out there on track. I was about to say, you do a better job than I do in the booth when you're out on track. Francis Hamilton right where he started, P7th. Gonna finish a solid night for him. What do you see, Jordan?
Oh, I thought John Honeycutt was about to crack the wall, but he was able to hold off from hitting it. But him and Jose Ruiz on top of each other, but Jose just hasn't been able to find that opportune moment to complete the pass. And Christopher Karch looking on, he's not quite close enough to strike, but if there's a mistake, he could.
We're on the final lap, guys. Matthew Opliger looking for his first win. FTR drivers in the top 10, but let's go back to Matthew Opliger getting ready to head into that oval section and gonna hit our first chicane of the final lap. Bring it home a winner. I do not want to jinx this man. I know he's looking forward to it. First time winner here in SnB as he goes through the first chicane, if he can get it done. Great runs. We've seen him consistent. Just unfortunately, some mishaps in the final part of a few races that have ripped the win out of his hands. Here we go into the final chicane. Right after that, we're going to see him take the checkered flag. Matthew Opliger gets his first win of the season, goes through completely sideways. Great job to Matthew on his first win out here. Brody Falliker finishes the over the line second. Jimmy Cocker in third. Great night for FIWB. How about that? Man, oh man. Let's get Brody in here. We need to get Mr. Opliger getting that win.
Ooh, we still got a good battle cooking here for a ninth spot. Jose able to make that pass.
We got some bad to the bone up in the booth here.
Indeed.
All right, Mr. Opliger. Let's try to get him in here. I'll go ahead and ping him. See him making his way around. First win. I know he's gotta be excited. Brody Falliker finishing second. Jimmy Cocker third. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer completes the race fourth. Connor Cunningham, another great race for him out there in the top 5. Do we have a Matthew yet? No Matthew. All right, we're going to bring it on over to second, which is going to be Brody Falliker. These guys just so incredibly consistent. Oh my goodness, I saw you in a weird angle and I thought you were going to hit the barrels. Brody, man, 18 spots gained tonight. Absolutely incredible. Started in the rear of the field. First of all, was that by choice?
No, it was not. I messed up on both of my qualifying laps.
Brutal. So how do you take that start towards the rear of the field and then bring it home second?
Well, I honestly thought the race was fun. You know, coming through the field and everything. You know, I had some kind of mess up where I had a slowdown penalty, and it cost me like 3 spots after stage 3. So if I, you know, didn't make that mistake, I might have had something for the 20. But you know, we weren't sure if he was gonna make it on fuel because of, you know, Justin fitting. And you know, I was just hoping.
We saw you even get a top 10 for that first stage. Absolutely incredible to even make your way up there. So you're looking solid for the round of 8 here. What's your thoughts going into the final races?
Well, I can happily say that I like every track left on the schedule,
All right.
which gives me a lot of confidence. So.
Absolutely. A huge momentum with the P2 coming out into the final round of 8 and then moving into the championship 4. So congratulations on the second. What a comeback race. Not good qualifying, but coming out here to finish second, even in the first stage, getting a top 10. So just a great run.
Thank you.
All right, Jordan, we got Mr. Jimmy Cocker out here finishing P3. How about an interview?
All right, I guess I'll hand out the interview. Jimmy, with a strong start, a strong finish. Talk about your evening.
Yeah, you know, we had a good race car, but it just wasn't to the pace of Anna Sogak. And I've done a lot of practice with Brody over the last week. Knew he was going to be really fast. Felt like I was a top 5 car. I think there were a couple of other guys that were faster that got wiped up in some stuff, and we really never got to see a long run until the very end. I think Jurgensmeyer was also really fast. But really, tonight was all about just staying above that cut line. I was plus 17 down there in 6th position in points, and I just kind of wanted to maintain my spot. Felt like the qualifying was there, and just kind of maintain track position throughout.
Well, it was definitely a strong set of races here. How do you feeling going into the next 3 races, the final round before our championship?
Unlike my teammate, I don't like any of the races that are coming up. Chicagoland. I think I've done a B fix once in my life there, and I was not fast. Got beat by everyone in top split, and then what, Iowa and then Michigan. I guess Michigan is the one I'm looking forward to the most out of all those. But yeah, some work to be done for me, and maybe my FIWB teammates can give me a little bit of help there.
Well, that Frozen, that is Jimmy Cocker coming home with a strong finish in third.
All right. Our race winner here is going to be Matthew Opliger. And please tell me if I pronounce your last name correctly. But what is it?
Well, Opliger.
Opliger. Okay. All right, Matthew Opliger. No, you can tell me. He finishes the race as a winner here tonight. First time for the NASCAR series. So a great job out here. You gained 5 spots. Take us through your race. We saw you restart in the lead, and you finished it out strong. How did you get out here in the lead?
So I started off, I was pretty disappointed with qualifying, to be honest. I thought I could qualify much better than 6th, but yeah, I hit the wall early on and just, I guess damage just ruined my pace, so I was really just hoping for the caution to come out so I can come down pit road to get it repaired, and then, you know, I knew if a long green run happened that I could take advantage of that, and thankfully, I think Justin was on much older tires on the restart, and he had to pit for some reason. I assume fuel, but that got me clean air and just drove away.
Yeah, you had such consistent laps out there, just putting the field behind you. But we've seen you have so many strong races and not have the finish that you deserve. So, what was the difference for tonight?
I really don't know. I guess it was just probably just getting clean air, because maybe I'm just better at road courses. I don't know.
Well, you definitely are great at road courses. A huge congratulations for your first win in SnB, and it's here at the Roval, a challenging but fun track. So great run tonight, and congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we are done for the night. The Roval 50 laps. It was crazy. It was entertaining. These guys did a fantastic job. Next week, we are going to be headed to the round of 8. It's going to be absolutely insane for these final 4 races. 1 of 8 drivers will be a champion, and it all starts at Chicagoland next week. So be sure to tune in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it, and I know the drivers do also. You guys have a great night.